straight from the horse's mouth. Our Neil Young News Report.
Smell the horse on this one.
With this week's update from thrasherswheat.org, here's Thrasher.
Hey, Thrasher here with this week's Neil Young News, and we do have lots of fresh wheat to cover, so we'll just get right at it. Hope everybody had a nice Halloween and happy November. But clearly the big news here over the past couple weeks has been the Bridge concerts out in California, the annual Bridge School Benefit Concerts 2013. So we took the week off last week to enjoy the webcast, and so hopefully folks saw that and or made the concert and were there in person. So by now, most of you have probably seen and heard read a lot of coverage of the concert, so we won't go over it in too great a detail here. Certainly many highlights that we've covered. The CSNY reunion, Tom Waits' first live performance in over 5 years, the Lou Reed tribute on Sunday night. As everyone knows, the great Lou Reed passed away over the weekend, and so his musical legacy is starting to be honored, and was honored there at the Bridge concert. There was a version of "Oh Sweet Nothings" that was with My Morning Jacket and Neil Young and Elvis Costello and many others. But so many different highlights that come up over the Bridge School weekend. Certainly, another highlight was Elvis Costello and Graham Nash hooking up for a version of King Midas in reverse. And then you had all of the what we call the Neil Young walk-ons, where Neil just sort of strolls out in the middle of somebody's set and joins them on a song. Had a bunch of those. You had during Jack Johnson's set, Neil Young came out and did "On the Weekend." During My Morning Jacket's set, Neil came out and played "Harvest Moon" with Jim James, and Jim had a little story about that song and Harvest and what it meant to him. During the Arcade Fire set, you had a debut song that was actually about a dream of Neil Young, and in a dreamlike state, who walks out but Neil Young. You had Heart during their set. Neil Young joined them for War of Man. So for those veterans of Bridge, you know that this was another remarkable weekend with all of these musical sort of intersections, which we love so much here at Thrashers Wheat. And you've probably been joining some of these highlights here on WBKM. So thanks for all of that. So that'll be all we mention here on the Bridge, other than to say that as usual, sometimes you see some negative reviews out of the Bridge weekend, and of course many sort of scratch their heads and say, well, how can that be? And you hear things about like, well, there are too many acts, or the concert's too long, or it's cold. Well, we really don't know how to respond to that. It's all sort of beside the point. Even some of those highlights that we just mentioned a moment ago misses the whole point of what this is about. And all one has to do is sit there in the audience and look out at the stage, or from wherever your vantage point is, the webcast or the photos or what have you, and look in the background of the stage, and what you will see are the wonderful Bridge kids, their wonderful supportive parents, and the staff of the Bridge School. They're on stage at this acoustic concert, and they're taking it all in, and if you look in their faces, they're all really smiling and really happy to be there, and they're really thrilled what Neil and Peggy are doing. And that is what it's all about. So moving on, so a couple of other major news items since we last reported. There is going to be a performance archives release of the Cellar Door concerts from Washington, D.C. in 1970. That'll be out December the 10th. There's a promo video that was just released, and that's posted up on Thrashers Wheat, so check that out. The Cinnamon Girl on piano is quite rare and unique and interesting, so definitely a highlight there to check out, a little taste of that. So the other major news is that some concert dates have been announced for 2014. Pre-sales went on sale this week. This will be at Carnegie Hall in New York City in January 6th, 7th, 9th, and 10th are the dates that have been announced, 4 nights. And tickets go on sale officially on Monday morning, and so we have some details on that up on Thrashers Wheat, so check that out. So if you didn't get pre-sale tickets, struck out on that, try again on Monday. Good luck to everyone. Don't be denied. A couple of interesting sort of connections here. One being, we just mentioned the Cellar Door release coming out. Now, 1970, when the Cellar Door concerts were performed, this was as a warm-up to Neil Young's Carnegie Hall shows back in 1970. So we actually have this whole sort of journey through the past thing going on, where Neil played in a small club in Washington, D.C. to get ready to go to New York City for Carnegie Hall, and what would really be probably his most important concert as an artist, to come to New York City to play at Carnegie Hall. Certainly a dream for any musician at any stage of their career. So we have the Cellar Door release coming out in December, and then we have Neil Young returning to Carnegie Hall for the first time in 40 years or so. So remarkable circle of bookends there. And the other, I guess the other sort of interesting connection on all of this is, as we mentioned at Farm Aid, Neil covered a Phil Ochs song called Changes, some heavy-duty lyrics in there, and he's covered that a few times since then. And when he was at Farm Aid, he mentioned that Phil Ochs' last concert performance was at Carnegie Hall, where he wore a gold lame suit. So, well, one can only imagine if Neil Young shows up at Carnegie Hall with a gold lame suit, what our reaction will be, but not to get too far afield here. Anyway, trying to rein it back in. The other news item is that Neil performed another benefit concert this week, so busy week on the benefit front. This was at to benefit the Silver Lake Music Foundation, a school out in Los Angeles, set up by the Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea, and a concert that Neil performed solo, a couple songs. Again, he played the Phil Ochs song Changes, Comes a Time, Harvest Moon, Heart of Gold. So somewhat of a standard acoustic set there for a good cause. So we'll wrap up here. Good luck again to everyone trying to get tickets for Carnegie Hall next week. And until next time, keep on rocking in the free world.